Mission.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sadia, and thank you, Abid and SDPI for holding this important conversation. You see, figures are very misleading in Pakistan, and it is not that gender-based violence has increased by 80%. It is something that needs to be actually acknowledged and recognized that more cases are being, brought to light. More cases are being registered. I'm not suggesting that gender-based violence or violence against children in particular has not increased. That's not what I'm suggesting. But I'm saying that there's a trend, which is a good trend, a positive trend, that these cases are being reported more than before. Globally, every third woman has, at least every third woman has experienced some form of physical or psychological abuse. And in Pakistan, perhaps this percentage would be higher. And unfortunately, if you look at the marginalization, there are degrees of marginalization in Pakistan. So if you are a poor man, it is a very anti-poor society and an anti-poor state, continuity of a colonial state structure, unfortunately. So you find that if you are a poor man in Pakistan, you are marginalized. That is the first degree of marginalization. If you're a poor Muslim woman, you are more marginalized than a poor Muslim man, coming from the majority faith or majority sect. And if you're a non-Muslim man, you have some other faith, and you're poor, then you are furthermore marginalized. And if you're a non-Muslim poor woman, then this country gives you no rights to exist. So there are these degrees of marginalization which our state institutions have to be aware of and accordingly address. So this is something that so there is an intersectionality of faith, gender, class and caste in Pakistan. So any issue that you want to tackle or resolve or address has to be understood through that lens of intersectionality: faith, gender, class and caste. Unfortunately, we still remain a part of the Indian subcontinent where caste system exists. So we deny that. Our constitution does not, there are some really positive rights enshrined in the constitution, fundamental freedoms enshrined in the constitution, but they're not realized. And so women take the brunt of it. But I would like to, finish the first answer, because I've taken quite long, on a positive note. Whether the state has done a lot or not, there has been a number of very pro-women pieces of legislation in the parliament as well as provincial assemblies in Pakistan. There are more than 20 over the last 15 years. And that needs to be recognized, one. And two, women in Pakistan have actually brought about a silent revolution, which we need to, you mentioned Honorable Justice Aisha Malik becoming the Supreme Court judge, but we had seen Justice Majda Rizvi and, a few other women in high courts. But apart from that, the number of lawyers, the number of engineers, the number of architects. I flew from a plane from Karachi to Islamabad last month. I don't remember which airlines was that. I traveled quite a bit. So, but both the pilot and the first officer were women. This was not happening when I was young, and so there are things, and most of the women in this room will, I can we can have a bet on that, most of the women in this room, most, if not all, are more qualified than their mothers or their grandmothers. There will be exceptions, of course, but this is something that women in Pakistan have achieved and continue to achieve, breaking that glass ceiling that they have to face. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haris Saab. You rightly mentioned about the faith, culture, caste challenges which we are facing, and now we are progressing toward the sustainable development.